Hello students, welcome back to the online lecture classes. In the online lecture series of B.Sc Part 1st Bio of M.D.S University Ajmer, in paper 1st we will study today an extinct animal, dinosaur. The word which comes from an ancient Greek word meaning terrible lizards. Strictly speaking, the dinosaurs refer to the land dwelling creatures that dominated life on Earth during the Mesozoic era, that is, some 225 million years to 65 million years ago, much before the first man appeared on this earth. If we see their ancestral stock, we see that the early dinosaurs were small creatures and they were cold-blooded. They could not run very fast on the forelegs, and the front legs had a claw-like hand. They balanced themselves by means of a tail which was long and skinny, and it was lizard-like. They were carnivorous, and their front legs were used for catching the prey, for grasping the prey, and also for tearing the prey. If we see their habit and habitats, we see that the dinosaurs exhibited two distinct groups on the basis of their feeding and habits. The first group was the carnivorous forms that could run very swiftly on their hind legs and that used their forelegs for grasping and tearing the prey. And the second group was the herbivorous forms. If we see their physical conditions, we say that when the dinosaurs appeared, at that time the climate on this earth was very warm and moist. At that time there was no winter and the land was marshy and swampy, and there was an abundance of green plants and swamp forests. But during their existence and divergence, the climate slowly changed, and from a warm and moist climate it changed into the semi-arid, which was most compelling cause of the dinosaurs' divergence. If we see their size, we saw that the smallest dinosaur, which was about 2.5 feet in size, like that of a domestic cat, it was the Compsognathus. It was about 2.5 feet in size, and the other dinosaur, which was a very giant dinosaur, which had an extreme length, it was about 120 feet in length and it weighed about more than 40 tons. This was the Gigantosaurus. So we had a dinosaur which was 2.5 feet, like that of a domestic cat, and the other end exhibited the giant dinosaur which was about 120 feet in length. The classification of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs diverged into two different groups, the Sauristia and the Ornithistia. The first is the Sauristia. In the Sauristia means they were the dinosaurs with reptilian pelvic girdle. We can see here in the diagram the Sauristian dinosaurs, the pelvis was a triradiate. See, this is a triradiate. It has three rays. It was a triradiate structure in which the pubic bone of the pelvic girdle extends down and forward below the ilium. This is the ilium. The pubic bone extends down and forward, and the ischium, this is the ischium. The ischium extends down and backward. This arrangement of the pelvic is similar to that of the reptiles, and hence the name Sauristia was given, which means reptile-like pelvis. On the other hand, the second group, which is the Ornithistia, in this the dinosaurs, the pubic bone of the pelvis rotated backward so that it was parallel to the ischium. Here we can see this is the ischium, and the pubic bone had rotated and now it lies parallel to the ischium. This is the pubic bone, this is the ischium. It is now lying parallel to this. So this arrangement of the pubis and ischium is similar to the pelvis of the birds. So these dinosaurs are called Ornithistiate structures. Its four processes are formed by the anterior and posterior extensions of the ilium. This is the anterior extension, this is the posterior extension of the ilium. The prepubis, this is the prepubis, and the closely packed ischium and the pubic. So this forms the tetraradiate structure. So the first division, that is the Sauristia, the reptile-like dinosaurs. They were carnivorous and bipedal, that is they were two-legged dinosaurs, they walked on two legs. They preyed upon the mammals and lizards. This group is further divided into two suborders. The first suborder is Theropoda and the second is Sauropoda. The theropods were the carnivores and they had a bipedal locomotion. They included the genera Ornithimus and Allosaurus. During the Jurassic and the Cretaceous, some of the Sauristians retained the bipedal and carnivorous habit. They were the theropods, right? These were the strong, heavy hindlings which could easily run. The Allosaurs, the example that we see here, the Allosaurs, they were about 35 feet long with a very strong and heavy hind legs. The other suborder is the Sauropoda. The other Sauristias, that is other than the Theropoda, in the beginning of the late Triassic, they changed to a plant diet and they reverted back to their four-legged stance, and they increased in size, which was about the size of the giant. They had long tails and long neck. So they were the giant dinosaurs of the Sauropoda suborder, which attained great lengths of 60 to 80 feet, and their body also weighed about 30 to 50 tons. They were herbivorous dinosaurs and they were represented by Brontosaurus and Diplodocus. So these are the two examples of this. The Diplodocus that we see here, they are the double beam, was about 87 feet long. They were the longest of all the dinosaurs, but they were lighter and thinner. The next group is the bird-like dinosaur, which is the Ornithesia. They were the beaked herbivorous dinosaurs. They were the dinosaurs with the avian pelvic girdle. They were poorly represented in the Triassic and they saw their culmination in the Jurassics. They were mainly herbivorous from the very beginning of their evolution, and they walked on all the four legs, that is they were quadrupedal. The Ornithisian dinosaurs had no teeth both in the upper and the lower jaws, and the upper portion of the skull in the jaws was modified into a beak in some of the Ornithisians. The Ornithisian dinosaurs were grouped into four suborders. The suborder 1 is the Ornithopoda. They were the most primitive of all the dinosaurs that looked like the birds. Most of them were bipedal. They developed a stout, horny, bird-like beak, and they were commonly called duck-billed dinosaurs. These are the examples: Iguanodon, Trachodon and Camptosaurus. Then comes the second suborder of the Ornithesia, that is the Stegosauria. They were covered with 2 rows of heavy bony plates and spines. That is, on their back they had 2 rows of heavy bony plates and spines. Their tail also had sharp, strong spikes. They walked on the 4 legs, but the front legs were comparatively shorter. Example is Stegosaurus. The third suborder is the Ankylosauria. They are well developed plated dinosaurs. We call them plated dinosaurs. They were also commonly known as the curved lizards because their ribs were curved with the bony plates like a turtle shell. Long spikes were developed which struck out from the sides of their body and it protected their short legs. The example is Ankylosaurus. The fourth suborder is the Ceratopsia. The Ceratopsia are also known as the horned dinosaurs. They were moderate in size, their size was moderate, and they looked very much like the present day rhinoceros. They had enormously large head armed with long horns and great bony caudal frill. The front part of their upper jaw formed a small hooked beak. The example is Monoclonius and Triceratops. Now this is the family tree of the dinosaurs. We all know that the dinosaurs arose from the Thecodons. They evolved into two groups, the Sauristians and the Ornithisians. If we see the Sauristians, Sauristians had two suborders, the sauropods and the theropods. The theropods are the carnivores. They are the giant. The theropods consisted of the giant carnivores which were bipedal, and the sauropods, they consisted of the giant herbivores. They had about 60 to 80 feet in length and they were about 60 to 80 tons in weight, and mostly they were herbivores. Whereas in the theropods they were the giant carnivores and also the ostrich dinosaurs. The second group was the Ornithisians, right? This was divided into four suborders, suborder 1, 2, 3 and 4, in which one we had the duck-billed dinosaurs. These were the Ornithopoda. The Ornithopodas were the duck-billed dinosaurs. They were the most primitive of all the dinosaurs. Then came the plated dinosaurs. The plated dinosaurs were the Stegosauria. The Stegosauria had a bony plates and spines on their back and a tail which was very strong. Then we had the armored dinosaurs, which was the Ankylosauria, the armored dinosaurs, which had the curved lizard-like, the ribs were curved like a lizard. And then we had the fourth suborder, that is the horned dinosaurs, which was the Ceratopsia. They resembled very much like the present day rhinoceros. So this is the family tree of the dinosaurs. Now what are the causes of extinction of dinosaurs? It is believed that the gradual cooling and drying of the atmosphere is one of the reasons. Because the dinosaurs were cold-blooded, they could not live very comfortably in the cold weather. As the weather changed from warm to cold, they could not survive being cold-blooded. The second cause that is believed is that the changed climate produced new kinds of plants. And the plant eaters, the herbivore dinosaurs, they could not eat the new kind of plants which had tougher stems and leaves. The scarcity of food and the unsuitable climate could be the main reasons for the extermination of these giant forms that are the dinosaurs. It is also believed that most of the Mesozoic reptiles became extinct because of an epidemic, which could have been viral, bacterial, or a protozoan disease. Some also believe that the dinosaurs had reached their enormous sizes and their size was too clumsy for them to survive. The reason could have been anyone, but these are the hypotheses and the guesses which result to the causes of extinction of dinosaurs. So students, today we studied about an extinct type, the dinosaur. In the next class, we will study another extinct form, that is Archaeopteryx.